Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I've been getting several questions as to how I decide which orchids I'm going to place in water culture and which ones I'm not going to place in water culture. To be honest with you, some of my orchids I've had down in bark for so long, they've been in the same pots, in the same bark, for about 6 or 7 years, and I'm not going to mess with them because the roots are growing out of the bottom of the pots, and I figured that I'm going to probably tear up the plant trying to get it out of the pot to put it in water culture. So this is what I've decided to do instead. Here are the ones in bark that I still have in the bark, and they're doing fabulously well. As you see, I've got lots and lots of roots on this one. This is the one that This is the beautiful white one. I've only got 2 blooms left on it, but I have a spike that I'm training up this stake right here. So I like to start them out with zip ties and just kind of slowly train them up and then change it to something more ornamental as the spike grows. But what I'm going to do, here is my very large white Phalaenopsis that you see in bloom so much of the time. It had been in bloom for 7 months, and finally the blooms all faded, and I decided that I'm going to keep the spike on my plants from now on. I'm just going to start cutting them back at the first node, back from where the flower spray was, and I got Kiki paste. And as you see, I'm having the beginnings of Kikis. Here, and here's one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these in bark. As you see, I've got this one tilted up in one of these pots. There's styrofoam that I have down at the bottom of the pot so that the roots that are down at the bottom in here will not get squished. I've done the same thing here. I actually have to lift it up out of the pot because there's so many roots on the bottom here. So what I'm going to do with the plants that I've decided to keep in bark is I'm going to use Kiki paste when they stop blooming, and then when the Kikis get large enough, they're going to go into water culture. So that is my plan. So I just wanted to show you this one I actually put in water culture. I noticed that the bark was degrading pretty quickly, so I decided I'd only had this one for about 2 years, so I thought I'd go ahead and put it in water culture, and it's doing great. It's got this yellow leaf. Whenever you have a yellow leaf that looks like this, it's just yellow, doesn't have any other spots on it or anything, just yellow, leave it on the plant until it just drops off, because what happens is as your leaves, as they die back, the energy from that leaf actually goes back into the plant, and you want all the energy in your plant that you can possibly have. So that's the story with the yellow leaf. I actually left it there. I will leave it there until it drops off. This miniature, it bloomed out completely. Oh, I love this one. I waited 1.5 years for this one to rebloom. It was very well worth the wait. It put out a lot of new leaves and a lot of new root growth, so I was very happy to see it growing, and then when it bloomed, it's just, this bloom is much better than the initial bloom when I bought it from the store. And then here is my Phal Legato. Oh my goodness, this is the most beautiful plant. I just love this orchid. So I hope that gives you some ideas for your orchids, and I hope you have a highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed day, and we'll talk to you next time.